I sold Pokemon cards for 1 month at the start of 2025, and here is everything that I've learned. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Brian, PokeBri. Hey, thanks so much for jumping in on this week's episode of my journey of starting a Pokemon card business in 2025. Man, so much has happened in this past month, so I want to talk about my takeaways and thoughts about how to do this successfully, and hopefully it could help you on your journey on starting a Pokemon card business. And of course, make sure to drop a like, comment, or subscribe so you don't miss out on latest videos or updates. It helps me a lot to know what you guys are looking for, and really appreciate all of the support of you guys reaching out, DMing me on different social media platforms, and just saying all the kind words you guys have said, encouraging me on my journey of starting a Pokemon card business, and ultimately helping a lot of you take the dive as well. So anyways, in this video, I have a handful of things I want to cover. First of all, let's go over business updates. If you've seen my previous videos, you know that this isn't my full-time gig. I work full-time, and I also own my own media agency on the side. So the last 2 weeks have actually been a little bit slower in terms of sales, not because cards aren't selling. Cards are actually selling. I just haven't been very active about getting new stuff up on my site or on eBay, just because I've been really preoccupied, especially with my media agency, shooting a commercial for a client that I did, at least it was a week ago at the time of the drop of this video. So I was very busy with all of that stuff. So with that being said, I'm hoping to be a little bit more present with the Pokemon business, giving you all as much knowledge as possible to want to make the decision or to continue building yourself. So like I said, sales were pretty low. I did a handful of in-person sales. I did sell a handful of cards on my website and eBay, but other than that, it's nothing to really write home about. So I would say maybe I made an extra few $100s in the past week or so, but really my biggest focus on the Pokemon card business was buying out that collection. So in my last video, I mentioned that I was looking at a few different collections to purchase on Facebook Marketplace. One, because I want to just have inventory, and because sealed inventory, unless I'm buying from Japan, just really isn't a feasible option at this point. And so having single cards as inventory, because honestly, in the first few weeks of selling my current collection, most of all the high value singles, or the ones that are in high demand, have pretty much all moved and sold. But I also wanted to have some variety and also have inventory for the very first show that I'm going to be vending this coming Saturday, at least at the posting of this video. With that, I did make a decision to purchase a collection. If you don't follow me on TikTok, I posted a video on there showing a little POV of me meeting up with the seller, going through their collection and kind of my thought process of what I was doing to try and make a decision on it. Got a lot of traction, a lot of views, a lot of opinions on it, and a lot of opinions of people saying that I probably did not make a good decision on it. So what I want to do, I've been waiting a long time to try and make this video. So I wanted to break down the items from that collection that I feel like are actually going to be an impact to my Pokemon card business, and then kind of explain my thought process of why, again, I wanted to move forward with this one versus other ones that I've seen. So first off, I spent $1,600 on this, and in that $1,600 included a full sealed Twilight Masquerade sleeved booster case of 144 packs, and technically on TCG Player, I think at the time of filming this video, it's around 700 to 750 in value. So of course, what I'm going to do is rip that open and pretty much pack out the whole box at around $6 a piece, trying to sit close to that current MSRP for Twilight Masquerade. So with that, you got $1,600 minus, I think it's around $900 if I were to pack out every single pack in there. I'll kind of drop here on the screen just a breakdown of everything so that you can see just the whole breakdown of how this collection will actually profit me. So I did break apart everything that I feel like was of high value or things that I knew that could move. So I took out the cards that had a lot of last sold that were more recent in January. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of quickly just flash. Basically, I have ETB full of cards here, another ETB full of cards here, and a lot of these were in binders, and a lot of these were in these ETB cases. Again, more cards here, and then even more cards here. That's pretty much just all what I would consider the bulk. And a lot of people on my TikTok were basically saying,
that just looks like a bunch of $1, $3 cards.
Well, there's about probably 1,500 $1, $3 cards in there that I could eventually break out and sell. But as far as the ones I feel like I can move quickly to recoup my costs, I did put those cards aside, and I'll quickly quickly show them to you guys right now. So one of the things that the seller did include was a full, complete master set of celebrations. And I could break out the singles, like for example, like the Charizard and the Umbreon and the Magikarp in there. I think all value around like 120, 130 bucks if I wanted to do that. Or I could break them apart and grade them, but I feel like I want to keep this as one collection and sell it on eBay. I've been seeing last holds go from 300 to 350, so we'll go ahead and add that to the list of movable product that I can sell pretty quickly. In addition, they did throw in a couple of slabs. One, I don't think this one is of very much value. It's just a CGC 8 of a vintage Japanese Skarmory. I'll just put this out in my case when I vend that show, but there's that one. And then they also threw in this CGC 10 Dark Gloom or Rocket Gloom, first edition, which is pretty sick. And this one alone values for about $100. So we'll add that to the list. And with that, I broke apart all of the cards that I feel like are, again, of high value. And so what I'll do is also, I'll drop over on this side the TCG player current MSRP for all of these because I wanted to make sure I have a place to actually track them. So with these cards, here's one reason why I bought this collection. There was another collection I saw, which some of you actually commented on it and were saying that there could have been fake cards in. I did not buy that collection. It was a different one. Okay, actually first, when I reached out to the person on Marketplace, they didn't include the Twilight Masquerade in there as a part of the sale. They just pretty much had a list of singles and binders. So it was $1,600 for what they had listed on Marketplace. But when I showed up, they said, hey, also I have this case. And so it was interesting because I told this seller, I was like, I don't know if I see $1,600 here in raw singles. And so basically I was able to make that deal with them to say, hey, include the Twilight Masquerade box plus everything you have listed and we got a deal. In there were a lot of cards from different eras. So the fact was that they had a lot of mid-era in here that I wanted to just be able to have in my inventory and collection for that matter. So that I can see the cards, understand what niche market would want these type of cards. And also for me, it's Pokemon. I love Pokemon, and because I missed out on the mid-era, I wanted to be able to take advantage of buying out a collection that had those cards. In addition, this seller actually had a lot of master sets from mid-era that they offered to sell me, but we couldn't make a deal on those because those are more sentimental to them and they couldn't really give me a number, and so I wasn't able to buy those. But most of those were all pretty much near mint, and there's so many cards that I saw in there that I was like, I need this card just for my personal collection. And so what I'll do is I'll just kind of flash them here. There's a lot of duplicates of celebrations, a handful of stuff from XY, SIRs, full arts, all that stuff. And next, I'll kind of go through the mid-era. And again, this is where I really wanted to learn more about because I'm not very familiar with these cards. And there's just a good handful of primes and level X's and all of these cards here. So one thing about this collection is that even with the TCG player list that I mentioned, these were all about MP to LP. And I wanted to make sure that whatever I priced out was actually accurate to what their condition was. Cross-checked it with eBay to see if people are buying at these conditions, and they are, which is great for me. And finally, the last big stack is that there was so much vintage in here, like a lot of vintage. And this is probably a bulk amount of that TCG player list. So I feel like I'll be able to move those pretty quickly and shouldn't have an issue with that. If not, it's okay. At least I have inventory, which again is the reason why I wanted to buy out such a big collection. So finally, a couple of other cards in this collection that I wanted to mention that are probably the highest valued of the entire collection were these two cards. So one is a modern Sun and Moon Jesse and James full art trainer. Of course, with the impending Team Rocket set coming up in early summer, I wanted to get this one graded because I do feel like I mean, at least according to PSA's new standards of 55-45, I think this will get a PSA 10. And so I wanted to be able to sell that in the collection once I get that back. So we'll add that to the list of a potential at a PSA 10 of what I could sell it for. And this one is a big banger. This is the Pikachu Poncho promo that is pretty clean. I think this will get a PSA 10. So I'll drop that also in the list of what a PSA 10 value would be. But those two are going to get sent out for grading. So other honorable mentions that I think I'll keep in my personal collection. I love the XY era. So this was also in here as a full art Terrakion. I do have this in English, so I'm going to send this one out. And if it comes back, I don't think this is a very high valued card. It is in English, but not in Japanese, but I just really like this. So, and then some other cool cards. Again, there's a lot in here, and I'll probably keep my personal collection. But overall, I think it was a win for me. I think I will be able to move these pretty quickly if I do my marketing right. But there was a lot of concern if I spent $1,600 and did I lose out or did I come up? Now, of course, this doesn't include things like taxes or fees or supplies. This is just envisioning what the potential for revenue sales could be. So by the way, if you're looking for a full cost breakdown of what it takes to start a Pokemon card business, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to make a video on that if you're interested. One of the things I wanted to talk about as one of my main takeaways from building a Pokemon card business is building a personal brand. Now, this past week, I've invested in some various branding pieces for PokeBri and Grail Vault. I'll kind of show those here. What I did was I had my awesome wife, who's a graphic designer, help me design all these pieces where I can have a retractable banner as a marketing piece for when I vend shows. I also had some stickers made, and I also had a touch card made that has a little QR code on it for people who buy on eBay or in person that pretty much leads them to my site and gives them a 5% discount on their first order as incentive for one, as a thank you for buying from me in person or on eBay, but incentive to buy on my site moving forward. So that's gonna be something I'm gonna be including in all of my Pokemon card orders. I wish I had that a lot sooner because I've had so many people purchase from me, but finally was able to get that going. So I'm really excited for that. So as I mentioned, I didn't have a lot of time the past 2 weeks to keep up on listing and churning and burning sales because I was very preoccupied with my media agency. But what I wanted to do was keep up on posting on social media and doing short form content where I can. Anyways, the social media game is a grind, but what I can say is that it is so important for you to be active on social media, because for me at least, I could just be a dude here in my house putting cards up on eBay or my website and then just get sales. But what I noticed was that just in the past month alone, I have met so many new people. Many of you have reached out to encourage me on my journey, and I wouldn't be able to make these connections if I wasn't actively posting on social media. I'm not doing it perfect. The platform that I feel like right now is lacking with engagement is Instagram, which, okay, well, by the way, there's about 400-ish of you subscribed to me here right now on YouTube. I'm gonna pause this video for 15 seconds, and I want you to go follow me on Instagram because you guys are all amazing and you guys are really nice and it's free. So I'm gonna pause this right now and have you guys go do that in 3, 2, 1.
A few moments later.
Okay, all right. So thanks for doing that if you did. I really appreciate it. My eyes are kind of like water right now. I don't know why. So anyways, I want to talk about the importance of social media. I've had multiple people reach out asking for more advice, and it's been awesome. It's been great to meet a bunch of you. I had one of you follow me over from YouTube to Instagram and literally say, hey, I want to send you my collection to possibly buy without you even knowing what's in it and just make a video on it. So So eventually I will make a video on this person telling me their collection, and I'll do a blind evaluation if I would want to buy it or not, which is going to be really cool. So, but with that, I think that's why it's important to be on social media. You'll get to see who you are, what's your vibe, what's your demeanor. You're going to be sketchy, or you're going to be a person who's going to want to do business. And I think that that's a great example of someone trusting me with their personal collection without me even sending $1 to do it. And so I think with social media, that's going to be a place where you're going to network with people, you're going to meet new people that you wouldn't have met. And I know it is a grind, but I do feel like you're going to 10x what you will do and your reach and who you will meet and the resources that you'll have if you're active over there on social media. That being said, I finally have launched the Discord channel, and I will drop that in the description below. So if you go in there, and I have a bunch of different channels that you can subscribe to. And if you're a Pokemon card business owner, I have a handful of private channels that I can invite you to. I want it to be a place to where we're actually investing into each other, which is what I feel like a handful of us have already been doing. And people like Pokédex Marketplace give me a lot of insight and encouragement and tips, and in turn giving him the same as well. So we're trading knowledge for knowledge, and that's going to be a great place for people to want to dive in. So to close out this video, I wanted to share my high level thoughts on what it was like to sell Pokemon cards for a month. But I can tell you, this Pokemon card thing is a different kind of energy. And I realized that you will lose sleep, and you will get imposter syndrome, you will get discouraged, and I felt all of those things, but you will be okay. You will find your rhythms, and you will succeed as long as you don't give in to the mental thoughts that are making you feel like you can't do this. And I'm sure there's probably many of you like that, but again, that's why I wanted to make these videos, to give you the encouragement or the jump start to just dive in and go for it, even if you feel like you're not ready. And second, like I mentioned earlier in this video, building a brand. I feel like it's so important for you to build your brand and who you are. That's not just pretty images on a website or anything like that. It's who your personality is, who you want to be represented as, who people can recognize and know, if I want to do a certain kind of business, I'm looking for a certain kind of thing, I want to go to this person. And doubling down on social media is going to be very important if you want to succeed. So I hope you all are enjoying this content. If you are, please let me know in the comment section. Of course, if there are videos that you are specifically looking for with building a Pokemon card business, let me know. I'd love to see if I could help cater to those and make those if it makes sense. And like I said, I want to be able to lend as much free knowledge as possible. But overall, again, thank you guys so much for all the support. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for DMing. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate you all so much. I'll see you in the next one.